Okay, I am just at my house here, but I'm going to go ahead and make this little video. Wow, it's hard to write on the screen here. About sacrum, because I was having a hard time with this. I was getting all my study questions wrong, and I want to be able to watch this later and get an idea of how to diagnose these things. So basically, what you can do is you can look at L5, and you know, every vertebral segment, if it has some sort of dysfunction, is going to have a rotating and a side bending component to it. So what you do is you just look at the side bending and rotation component of L5, and let's say that it is side bent right, rotated left, and let's say that's neutral. Okay, so now that you know that it's side bent right, rotated left, the main thing you do here is you just look here at the S. S stands for side bent. It also stands for same. So what that means is the axis is going to be the same on the sacrum. Okay, so when you look at the sacrum like this, it has an axis that it's going to it's like a oblique axis that it's going to rotate around, which means if you were to put a little stick through here or something and then kind of turn this, you know, the little stick, this side would go anterior, or it would kind of become deep, or if you turn it the other way, this part would become anterior or deep, making this part up here, you know, the opposite, posterior, shallow. So anyway, what I'm saying here is, going back to this, if L5 is side bent right, rotated left, you look at the side bending component and you understand the side bending component is going to be the same as the axis. So if this was a side bent right, you're going to say the axis is going to be a right axis. So which axis is this going to be? How do you measure the axis? Well, you count from the top, because if you notice, like, this is the right side here, but down here is the left side. So you go from the top. So this is a right axis, and this is a left axis. So since this is side bent right, this is going to be a right axis. So that's the axis. So the way that you label these sacral diagnoses is you're going to say it's turned some way on some axis. So it'll be like a something on something, okay? So in this case, the axis is going to be a right axis. Okay, so what about the other one? Okay, what about the rotation? How does that affect it? Well, the rotation is always opposite. Okay, so S for side bending and S for same, and R for rotation and R for rotated or opposite. Okay, whatever, I don't know. So if you look here, it says rotated left. Okay, so in this instance then, whatever this thing here is going to be the opposite of this, and that says left, so which means this is going to be a right. So if we see that L5 is neutral, side bent right, rotated left, we're gonna plug in this S here, right there, and then we're gonna make this one the opposite, put it there. Okay, let's try that one more time. All right, so let's look here, and we'll see we have a say L5 is flexed, rotated right, side bent right. Okay, and so now we're going to look at the sacrum. So here's the sacrum. Remember, there's two axes that are possible here. So what are we going to do first? We're going to go to our side bending. Okay, so our side bending set is going to be the same. So side bent right, what is this going to be? It's going to be a right axis. There's our axis right there. Okay, so if we've got two things here, something on something, this one is going to go right there. Okay, now be careful, because sometimes they'll put rotation and side bending, and they'll put this one over there and this one over here, whatever. But so make sure you know side bending of same. Okay, so side bent right, and we know the other one is going to be the opposite of the rotation, rotated. So it's going to be left. This is going to be a left on right sacral torsion. Okay, that's how the sacral torsions work. Sacral torsion. So now we've got that down pretty well. Let's do this the other way around. let's go ahead and give a diagnosis for the sacrum and then find out what the L5 findings are. So here's a sacrum, okay, and we're going to say that the axis for this thing, it's going to have a left axis, and it's going to be rotated left, okay? So what that means here is that this part right here is going to be, anterior, or it's also going to be shallow. That's how they sometimes word that. Okay, so this is looking at the person's back here. So it's anterior shallow. So what we'd say this sacral diagnosis is going to be a left on left. So now let's find out what the L5 is doing then. So L5, it's a left on left. We know that this is the axis here. The axis is going to be the side bending component. So the side bending component has to be side bent left. And we know that the rotation component is going to be the opposite of this rotation here. So it's going to be rotated right. Now we know, since these are in opposite directions, since neutral position, you think they look at those neutral, they're going in opposite directions. Side bending and rotation are going to be opposite directions, so we know that this has to be either a flexion or extension. Side bent left, rotated right of L5. See how you can work that through? We can do one more practice one if you'd like, but hopefully you're kind of getting the idea here. We'll do one more. We'll go ahead and say, okay, here's a sacrum. What we have here is a right on left. Here we have a left axis, okay, and it's looking to the right, which means that, oh, I think I just came up with one that was not plausible for this situation. All right, let's say that it's a right on right. So it's looking to the right on a right axis. Well, I guess, yeah, I guess that was plausible, wasn't it? All right, oh well, hold on, let me start over again. You know what, I think I made the point. I'm just going to stop here before I screw it up. So I hope that was enjoyable for you and helpful.